Two merchants sold the same goods at the same prices, but one went bankrupt while the other became wealthy. The difference? One of them couldn't count. In a trading city, where merchants competed for profits, two men opened shops selling fabric on the same street. Both bought cloth from the same suppliers. Both sold to the same customers. Both charged the same prices. But 5 years later, one merchant owned 3 successful shops while the other was drowning in debt with no idea why. The answer was simple. One merchant measured everything. The other just guessed. The first merchant's name was Yusuf. When Yusuf opened his shop, he focused on making sales. He'd buy fabric, put it on shelves, and sell it to customers. Money came in. Money went out. He felt busy. He felt successful. But Yusuf never tracked the numbers carefully. He had a scale to weigh fabric, but he rarely used it properly. He'd eyeball measurements. He'd estimate costs. He'd guess at profits. Close enough was good enough for Yusuf. When customers asked for 3 meters of fabric, Yusuf would cut what looked like 3 meters. Sometimes it was 2.5. Sometimes 3.5. He wasn't trying to cheat. He just didn't measure precisely. When suppliers charged him for fabric, Yusuf would glance at the invoice and pay it. He didn't verify the math. He didn't double-check quantities. He trusted that everything was probably right. At the end of each month, Yusuf would look at how much money was in his cash box. If it was more than last month, he'd think business was good. If it was less, he'd think business was slow. But he never knew exactly why. Yusuf didn't know his actual profit margins. He didn't know which products made money and which ones lost money. He didn't track waste. He didn't measure theft. He just operated on feeling and guesses. Years passed. Yusuf kept working hard. Customers kept coming. But somehow, Yusuf was always short on money. He'd have good days where the cash box filled up, but then unexpected expenses would drain it. He was constantly stressed about money, but couldn't figure out why. After 5 years, Yusuf was in debt. Suppliers were demanding payment. He had no savings. He couldn't understand it. I work hard. I make sales. Where does all the money go? The answer was everywhere. Because Yusuf never measured, he never knew. He was giving customers extra fabric without realizing it. He was paying inflated invoices without catching errors. He was selling some items at a loss without knowing which ones. His business was bleeding money. From 1,000 small cuts he couldn't see, Yusuf's scale was broken. Not the physical one, the mental one. He couldn't measure what mattered because he never tried. The second merchant's name was Ibrahim. When Ibrahim opened his shop, he also focused on sales. But Ibrahim did something different. He measured everything. Ibrahim had a precise scale, and he used it for every transaction. When a customer wanted 3 meters of fabric, Ibrahim measured exactly 3 meters. Not 2.5. Not 3.5. Exactly 3. Every single time. When suppliers sent invoices, Ibrahim verified every number. He checked quantities. He calculated costs. He caught errors. If something didn't match, he questioned it. Every evening, Ibrahim recorded the day's numbers in a ledger. How much he sold. How much he spent. What his profit was. He knew exactly where every coin went. Within 1 month, Ibrahim discovered something important. One type of fabric was selling really well with great profit margins. Another type barely sold and actually lost him money. After accounting for storage costs, Yusuf was still buying both fabrics equally. Ibrahim stopped buying the unprofitable one and doubled his order of the profitable one. Instant improvement. Ibrahim noticed he was losing about 2% of his fabric to waste and measurement errors. He fixed his cutting process and saved that 2%. Over a year, that small saving added up to significant profit. Ibrahim caught a supplier overcharging him by 15% on one invoice. He corrected it. Yusuf would have paid it without noticing. After 5 years, Ibrahim knew his business inside and out. He knew exactly which products made money. He knew his precise profit margins. He knew where every expense went. And because he measured everything, he could optimize everything. Ibrahim opened to more shops, using the same careful measurement system. All 3 were profitable because Ibrahim's scale worked perfectly. One day, desperate and broke, Yusuf came to Ibrahim asking for advice. We sell the same products. We have the same customers. Why are you wealthy and I'm in debt? Ibrahim walked Yusuf through his ledger. He showed him the numbers, the precise tracking, the careful measurements. Then he asked Yusuf, "Do you know your profit margin on each product?" Yusuf stammered, "Well, roughly. I mean, I have a general idea." Ibrahim asked, "Do you know how much fabric you waste each month?" Yusuf replied, "Not exactly, but it's probably not much." Ibrahim continued, "Do you verify your invoices? Do you measure every transaction? Do you track where every coin goes?" Yusuf admitted he didn't. Ibrahim said, "That's why you're broke. Your scale is broken. You can't improve what you don't measure. You can't fix problems you can't see. You're running a business blind." Here's the truth about money that destroys most people. You can't manage what you don't measure. Most people treat their finances like Yusuf treated his shop. They earn money. They spend money. They have a general feeling about whether they're doing okay. But they don't track the actual numbers. They don't know where their money goes. They don't know which expenses are necessary and which are wasteful. They don't measure their spending against their income. They just operate on guesses and feelings. Then they wonder why they're always broke, why money disappears, why they can't save. The answer is their scale is broken. They're not measuring. Yusuf represents most people. They work hard. They earn money. But they have no precision in their financial life. They guess at everything, and guessing leads to bleeding money without knowing where or why. Ibrahim represents people who build wealth. They track every dollar. They measure every expense. They know their numbers precisely. And because they measure, they can optimize. They can cut waste. They can maximize profit. Think about your own finances. Do you know exactly where your money goes? Do you track every expense? Do you measure your spending categories? Or do you just have a general feeling about your money? Most people don't measure. They estimate. They guess. They hope they're doing okay. And most people are broke. Successful people measure everything. They track expenses. They calculate profit margins on their time. They know their numbers precisely, and that precision allows them to build wealth. Yusuf worked just as hard as Ibrahim, but Yusuf's broken scale destroyed him while Ibrahim's precise scale built wealth. Fix your scale. Start measuring. Track every dollar. Know your numbers. You can't manage what you don't measure. And you can't build wealth with a broken scale. Subscribe for more wealth parables.